Welcome back. It's been a long time, but we have finally found a solve that is worth analyzing. We got the first ever sub 1 6x6 solve. I guess it's been. I'm surprised it happened so soon. It's been kind of inevitable, I guess, after seeing kind of what's been happening unofficially with Max's times, but I was definitely surprised to see it happen so soon. Let's go through. We're just going to watch the video first. I had the reconstruction. We're going to watch the video and then go through the reconstruction. I have a feeling it'll be a lot less to pick apart than last time I did one of these reconstructions. It was like a 7x7 average from 4 years ago, and I just like tore it to shreds, which, if there's stuff to tear to shreds, we're going to tear it to shreds. I absolutely don't care. I do not give a crap who is the solver or what fast it is. If there's something bad, we're going to call it out. But let's see what we got. Unfortunately, the video is kind of garbo, which is unfortunate, just because like this is obviously it's the last minute barrier. It's probably like a minute barrier for an N by N event. There's only one more 7x7 sub 1, which is like, nah, if it would happen, not gonna happen for like years and years and years. So let's see, starts, we're in for like four. You can't see much. It's all gonna be on the reconstruction here of like what we're actually watching. Alright, so we got the here on the right here. Our splits looking at. I've seen this video a couple times. I haven't looked at the reconstruction yet. Okay, 26. Like that's pretty solid. For a sub 1, like it's definitely like not surprising that Max's edges and through every stage are really the killer part of his solve. Like 26 is good, but it's not like on. He's not like on pace for sub 1, I'd say yet. I've seen this before. I know he gets 4-second last 4 edges, which is like just ludicrously fast. Yeah, so he's at 50. Like, he got like 24 edges, which is ridiculous. That's so fast. And then, like, he has a 10-second through right through stage with the 10-second through right through stage is so insane. Like 10-second through right through stage with OLO parity or NPLO parity, like it's like the flawless execution is like such a big part. But we can get to execution later. We were gonna talk about. Let's get into it. Thank you for who did the who is it again? Someone tell me in chat who did this. Stewy. Oh yeah, thanks Stewy for the reconstruction. Thank you very much. It's great to have these. Maybe if there's big stuff, could do more than this feature. Oh, I'm not sure what we're going to be doing in the future. Yo, thanks for the sub. Not sure what we're planning on doing in the future with the channel, but we're just going to make a video here. So, oops, let's go back. Oh. All right, here we go. I know he starts with blue. Oh, yeah, blue looks pretty now. Let's see what I got here. Blue is obvious. I mean, there's a one move. This move will make a 2x2, and then this is right here, so blue's standing out. Yellow looks okay, but this yellow piece right here is all I see. I definitely go blue. I would go, what? Why don't I go back? Snap. Oh, I see. Once I'll reset the orientation. I'd go blue. I definitely do this. Let's see, where are we at here? Why can't I move it? Whatever. And then, yeah, so I'd go blue, match these two up, match this corner, this thing right here, put that right there. These two will finish off. I know we probably have something similar. Alright, here we go. How do I go one at a time? Yeah. Alright, so what did that do? Yeah, so it solved those two. Solves the corner. Solves that. Yep. Okay, so yeah, obviously, like he basically just did exactly what I said was the best option. So right here, obviously, you would probably want to do a U, just like an F here. It's not a big deal. It's kind of nitpick. But like already right here, we can see that Max has improved a lot. Like I don't think I ever saw him do anything except straight bar before. Like a few years ago, the last time I did one of these. Like this is like one of the core advanced center building techniques that is really, really useful because it comes up so much. And it's good to see that he's using this. This is already significant. Like, this is already something I know he wouldn't have done in the past, and that's good to see. Definitely improvement. Like obviously you could have saved a move here, but okay. Oops. Yeah. So this is standard. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yep. 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 Yeah. No, this is fine. Okay. Yeah. Cool. 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 Uh-huh. Pretty standard stuff. Yep. Maybe like really this is all very solid. The only notes maybe you could have saved a couple rotations doing slightly more optimal stuff, but like like especially at this speed, like just how fast he's turning, like it's hard to like do some of that stuff. This is really nice. I would have pretty much. There's definitely no problems here. Yep, I do the same thing. Just throw that up there. Yep, nice. Also, here's like a nice point. If you notice this, right here, you can just like, you're like, oh, I already have these three. You could put this edge right here, or this like wing right here to match this wing. But then you break up this 2x1. And instead, if you go like this, then now you're left with this case. Like before, you'd be left with some weird, like a weird kind of like this wing off here, and then this separated, this like centerpiece like separated out, which isn't great. Now you're left with this case. So when you pair up, when you make this bar, you can insert it with a wide, like a full, and then swap this entire thing out, and you have this 2x1 already set up, which is definitely the right method. Or, I don't love that. I would have, right here, I definitely don't love this, because you should just finish this one right here, and then you can pull, like, because you can pull out this 2x1 while inserting this 4x1 here, so you just want to do that. Like, pulling it out here is kind of a little bit of a waste. It's not that bad, though. It just, if you see it, but I would have recommended against for sure. This is good. Yep, we're solid. Definitely solid. Yep, no real other option here. Probably go yellow or red or orange. They're all fine. What's he going for here? Oh wait, what is this yellow? Oops. Oh, 1 second. Oh, I see. He sees this. Okay, yeah, yeah. So definitely go. Oh, yeah. Definitely go yellow here. So here, there's actually no reason to like. I don't really see the point of like, because you can just do a R prime right here and match this up immediately. I don't really see the point of saving this kind of weird pattern. So if you do an R prime FR right here, it's just gonna give you this 3-on-1, but this is not a big deal. That's still pretty fine. Cool. Solid stuff. I definitely don't have an opinion really on which, like, because you have a 2x1, you have two 2x1s here, so you can go middle or outer, and because you have this weird pattern on the bottom where you have the slice, it doesn't matter which one you do first. And here they're both. It's actually like completely neutral from this position because this move will play like you already have two pieces, but they go to different bars, so like it doesn't matter which one you do. This is totally fine. Yep. Good stuff. Very nice. It's actually really smooth. It's like really. He's not rotating. He's actually like cutting a lot of rotations that a lot of people would do. It's really nice here. I don't know if that orange is on purpose or not. Is that orange on purpose? It's definitely not on purpose from this point. It would have to start like right. No, there's no way that was on purpose. If that was on purpose, that would be ridiculous. But I doubt it. Now at this point, you're obviously gonna save it, but it saved itself automatically. Yeah. What? Ooh, no. Where are we? Yeah, so we're right here. This is a pretty common, like, this might have been, like, a thing that, this kind of indicates it wasn't on purpose also. So, like, right here, you see, we're going to finish this, and we don't know what's going to happen. Or we kind of actually could have figured it out, but, we don't know what's going to happen with this 2x3. We know we're going to have this 2x3, so our first thought should be, Okay, after we finish this yellow center, we want to make this 2x1 to finish off this 2 bars, and then we're gonna keep going, which is a good first thought. And what Max has here is definitely a smart move. But now we got this spot. We have this now. We have already have this finished. I don't necessarily like this right here. If so, two things. One, we probably want to switch gears and just do an F prime, pair up a 4x1, or like, and you could pair up a 4x1 and swap it with this one, and then finish this one, like finish this left bar off. Or we're going really fast here. I think it's fine to just kind of ignore that. Be like, all right, we already had a plan. We're going to stick to it. Switching gears would take too much time. But rotating up is completely unnecessary because A, you only need one corner, so you can use this corner right here. B, this edge just showed up. This wing just showed up, so you might not have seen that. But B, you already know this was going to be here. These two, like, you don't... All the pieces you need to finish this 2x4 are on this U face. You can just use these two right here. Doing a rotation up technically saved him a move, but... it does 2 rotations. You just want to use these two pieces right here, for sure. But still, like, this is not bad. This is totally fine. You definitely want to go into this 4x1. Yeah, good. So, like, when he rotated up, you saw, like, he saw that he already had this 3x1 paired, so it's like, you should instantly be going straight into that. That's pretty, nothing fancy. Like, it's one of those things, like, anyone at this level should be doing it, and if you're not doing it, it's a mistake. Which, like, the big thing to notice is, like, a lot of these, like, the last time, like, 3 or 4 years ago, like, there'd be so many times where I'm like, oh my god, like, no one at this level should be making these mistakes. And that's, like, all completely gone. Like, it's been cleaned up so much. Like, I haven't seen anything, like, truly, like, outstanding. But it's also centers. And I guess my standard for centers is very high. But it's been extremely clean. Like, extremely clean. And the level of execution, the speed is very fast. So it's, like, there's definitely a lot of improvements going on. This is like a classic Max thing. Like, I would always do a U2 and then do the, like, he does L, this right here. This is like a classic thing that Max can do because he just turns so well. Like, this is like, I can't do this. Like, I would do the U2 and then do R moves instead of the L because just L moves are so inconsistent. And this highlights, so, like, this is actually a good thing of, like, this highlights how your ability to turn the cube well can help improve a lot, because being able to do this with 100% consistency and extremely fast, just as fast as your right hand essentially, is a very valuable tool. Because also, look, it sets us up even better. It saves like a few moves, actually. It saves like 3 moves. Like, this is like highlights why being able completely ambidextrous, like, in terms of turning and being able to, like, do this stuff is really important. Because this is like, yeah, this is like phenomenal to be able to do that. Why would you ever rotate down? What the hell? 1 second. What is going on here? Oh. No. Unless he's doing a red. No, he's not. Oh, God. No, okay. That was... Whoa, what is happening? Ooh, okay. This is bad. All right, we got something bad here. All right, it's been a while. It's pretty solid. Max has made it all the way to last. Actually, this is like, because centers, I know his edges are always so good. So he basically, this is gonna be the only major mistake in the entire solve, which kind of makes sense. You got a sub 1 6x6 solve, because I know Max doesn't really make mistakes in the edges. And yeah, Brand, you're right. This could have been the last 2 bars. Let's see what we got here. So let's go back to this. Okay, so we're right here. Like, there are so many ways. First of all, you don't need to do rotation right here. There's, like, I can see, like, also, like, when you're at this point, you should be focusing on, when you're doing 6x6, you're not building your left bar one at a time. You're building a 2x4 on the left, because it's always so easy. You're usually focusing on building a 2x4 on the left. Sometimes that's 1 bar and then another bar, but a lot of times you're just building the 2x4 on the left. You can do this, like, if you're just building the first bar, like this one right here, you can go U prime, and then, like, slice, like, do a full R3 prime, and that will match up this point and right there, and it'll also match up here to here. You have an easy left bar. This is actually, like, there's just, like, a million ways to build. Like, you can do like you can do a lot of different things here that are like better. Like this is just not the greatest. Like you could slice these two into here and then use this one. Like there's just a lot of options here that like you would never need to do rotation here. There's no need. Even if you would rotate, you can just do an F prime. You can do an F. You could do an F prime and then do it. Actually, yeah, this would be the best. Probably F prime, RY3. Boom. Match up. Match. Like you'd match this 2x2 into this 2x2, and that would give you a good bar and to get the next one. This isn't the easiest case to get a 4x2, but there's definitely a few better options that you can match. I'd match up this one into here. You can match up this one into here, and then use this 2x1 is probably what I would do. But there's definitely a better option. You do not want to be thinking about it as building a bar and a bar. You want to build your 4x2 in the same time. And then you definitely do not. You never want to have this on this orange face in front. That's bad. Don't do that. But like this is just weird. Also, whoa, what the? Now that we're here, I mean, this is just like a raw mistake. Everyone can probably see. Anyone, like Max is also like this is like one of those things like I'm sure Max, if he saw that, would probably do this correctly almost every single time. Like you just do U prime L wide prime, U L wide. Like it's 3 move ins. It's like a 3 move insert, but instead he like does this extra moves. Yeah. Like you're gonna see he like in his mind he was like, all right, I'm gonna pair this corner with this 3-1. Instead, you just pair it with this 3-1, but it's not a huge deal. That's something that like I doubt he'd make that mistake very often. Like this mistake is something I doubt he'd make very often. It just kind of happened. It happens once in a while, and like you already know you need to fix it. But the first mistake of like picking a bad start for your first 4x2 on the left, that's a bigger mistake. That's indicative of a mistake of he makes this mistake a lot, and that's something he could fix in his solves. Versus this mistake was like I'm sure he doesn't make that often. Also right here. Okay, so right here, right? Yeah. This is like what? Like there's no this move right here, this right there. That doesn't do anything. Like, what did that accomplish? Then he's gonna slice this up. Like, this first 3 moves that accomplished absolutely nothing. Like, oops. Like that, like the RY, like that didn't, like that actually accomplished nothing. I wish I could set this up, but I should have set this up earlier. But yeah, and then I would have done I would have done something like this. Oh wait, no, that's why. Oh yeah, wait, actually, wrong. This is the best way to do it. I would have done something like this because actually I knew this gave me. I was thinking and I was like, I feel like this is a good case. And I've seen it before. So like this is actually an extremely advanced thing that is I run mostly on intuition, but after you do thousands of solves, you kind of start to recognize like, okay, you do this, and then you get this case, and so you do this. And then you're solved. Which is definitely, that is the best one here. I'll just set it up again. So yeah, you do boom. And then you go like this. And then so it's the real key is that you're going to be, like the real key here is that you want to be able to like line up like all of the wing set. You want to be able to get like this 2x2 and then one of these wings because that means you're going to be able to do the last bar without a comm. So oops, and then okay, so like this is getting really long-winded, but we're talking about some high-level 6x6 stuff here. So yeah, so I knew this is why I felt like I knew this case was going to be good. Because like the corners don't matter in this instance. Like in these instances when you're doing your last 2 bars and you're trying to figure out what the best option is, the corners don't matter. You just have to look at the wings and the centers. And this is something that like I just do intuitively that I just picked up over years, but like it's hard. I don't know how to describe it exactly, but like I know this case, you do this, and then you're gonna get this type case where yeah, and then so you do that, you go boom, Here, I'll do it slow. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, U. And then once you get to here, this is the thing, like, you just do the one, you just do these 3 moves, and then with these 3 moves, you turn this into a very easy to recognize, obvious case where it's like, this is obvious and like it's really easy to recognize. Like, okay, I have this, boom, 3x2. And then once you have this 3x2, you're set with no comms. Boom. And that's really fast and really finger friendly. Which, honestly, if you're Max, like, the value that Max gets from finger friendliness is relatively less valuable because he's so good at executing kind of difficult finger, like, slices and L moves. He's so good at that the time jump to something that's more finger friendly on average isn't as big for him because he almost never messes up the more difficult part, but it's still good to know. So that's kind of an in-depth look, a quick tangent into a super high level in-depth look of last two bars on 6x6. Not necessary, like, actually, I mean, if you're trying to average like 65 under 110, like, that's important. Like, you gotta, like, this stuff's like really important. Like, it's not like mandatory at this level, like, but as you're getting, actually, wait, okay, I guess I'm like, all right, anyways, moving on. Yeah, not a big deal. Like, if you're gonna be trying to get like 65-second averages, it's like really, really elite stuff, might be worth looking into this stuff, but even at like a world-class level, like 110 to 115, this stuff isn't completely mandatory to know all of these cases or to force this every single time. You don't have to pick the best one, but it's definitely good to like start be thinking about this stuff, kind of like learn a lot of this stuff. It's like pretty important to always be kind of pushing the boundaries of what's possible, because if you want to get down to times that have never been done before, you need to start doing things that have never been done before. Anyways, okay. So all that to say, not picking the best option is not a huge mistake. Doing what Max did, though, is a huge mistake, because these turns, that did nothing. And then you did this weird slice turn, and then you do this weird insert, and then you do this other insert, and then like this, like you're gonna see how many moves that ended up being, which is like a crazy amount of moves. Quick other tangent, we're getting some high level 6x6 last two. There's like, you ever think it's possible for someone to talk about just 6x6 last 2 bars on your last center this much? Because we got another thing coming. So you should never get to this case, because you shouldn't. But assuming you have now gotten to this case, there is a cool thing that you can do. So this is what we're going to call a white last bar case, because Zach White actually, he genned a lot of these cases where this is gonna force you to have a weird kind of calm move at the end, and that's not ideal. So this is just one of the cases. It's not, this case isn't amazing. It's definitely helpful to know, but for this you can do boom, or you don't have to do the slice if you don't want to go to an edge pairing. So like, this is like pretty cool, like this. So you slice here, boom, boom, or I would do it like this. So like look up, like, that's it. It's basically just like double sexy. You do this slice, then you double sexy, and that's it. So really fast, really useful. Zach White came up with those. There's actually, here, I'll show you the best one. 1 second. So there are 2 cases like this, which are the worst. These like, if you happen to run into this case, it's pretty rare, because usually you've done something on the 3rd bar to force a case not like this. There are 2 cases where you have both of these corners solved, and you have these two wings here. Now, if they're like apart here, there's already an easy case for that. You just kind of do an insert like that, and then you'd have this wing would be right here, so that's not too hard. But there's 2 cases like this where you have the corners, and then you have these, and that's when white last bar is really nice. They say like, these 2 cases, even though they're rare, saves a lot of time, because this one. So this one you do a wide soon, basically. A modified version. Like, that is really, compared to doing 2 separate comms, that's extremely fast and extremely finger friendly. So definitely, this is stuff that's like brand new, and no one does in the entire world except like just started. So absolutely, I would have done, if I got this case, I would have done the same way as Max, and I think almost every single person would. Except extremely recently. So definitely not a bad thing to do it this way once you got here. It's just kind of the cool new stuff that's coming out. Definitely useful. There's like They're more useful on 7x7 because you get a lot more bad cases because you have five pieces obviously. But they're still useful on 6, kind of as explained just now. So that's cool. So now we're gonna go to edges. So we have a 26-second centers, which relative parts of the solve, 26-second centers is bad. Like, it's not terrible, but there are just like the edges are going to be the meat of like why this solve is so amazing. It's 24 is like really good. We're obviously going to expect to see some luck. It's the world record solve. It's like one of his best solves ever. We're going to assume they're fast, but like the real key of why Max is so good at big cubes, like his centers have gotten a lot better as we've seen now, but it's just his edge selection and the speed at which he does it. He like always picks the best edge instantly, or like he at least picks one of the best edges instantly so fast. Like I assume we're gonna see some magic here. Let's see what we got going here. What is he solving? What was that? What? What is happening? Wait, what is going on? Wait, oh whoops. Let me just set the orientation again. Okay, he does. What bar is he solving? He's solving blue-white? What is this? Wait a second. Has he solved anything yet at this point? What is this? What is going on? Oh, good. It's as executed. That's nice to know. Um, the reconstructions as executed means if he does a move and backtracks it, it's still in the reconstruction, which is good. What? This is so weird. This is weird. This is actually really weird. What is this? Okay, so I haven't seen this before. I haven't seen this reconstruction before. I wanted to do it fresh, but this is some weird stuff going on. Is he done with last 4? What the? Okay. Okay, now he's on last 4. Okay, one second. Let's go back. White, orange, white, green. Okay, so white, red, white, orange, white, green. Like, this is some weird stuff. Like, this is some white, red, white, orange, white, blue. So he does, like, I actually don't know what is going on here. This is really strange. So, because he's doing white, red first, but he does, like, all this, like, I think some of this is bad. But, like, he just does it so fast. Like, what is going... Oops. What is going on? Because, like, okay, this is the state of the cube after he solved this... After he solved white, red. And he has 3x1 done for orange and blue, green. Like, it's just, like, strange that you would select... So actually, someone did mention to me that he always does white edges first, which I think is actually an interesting concept. I don't think, as with every rule, doing anything every single time like for sure is there's always exceptions. Like if you see a free edge, you're gonna like if you see a 3-piece edge, you see all 4 pieces of an edge like right there, you're just gonna do it. But that's definitely something that's interesting and be worth kind of exploring whether or not like is that worth it? Like is it how much does it help your recognition? Like because I found myself I do white and yellow. I favor white and yellow a lot actually, like quite a lot. I favor white and yellow for my starting edges, and so I was curious if like how much better is that? Is it like make a big deal? And so I think that's like I don't really have the answer here. It seems to be working. Obviously, it seems to be working very well for Max on the recognition front at least, and so that's something that's interesting to think about. I don't necessarily think that just because like you're saying like oh you don't have the freedom to choose that's bad. It's definitely like the move count's gonna be higher obviously because you can't select the best edge every time, but it seems to be working and he just has no pauses and does them so fast. So I'm curious how that is gonna work. But that's a separate issue than what is going on here because there's some weird like because like right here like so we know he builds basically white red, white orange, and white green. But like what is he actually? Oh shoot! Let me reset the. Or I keep forgetting to reset the orientation. Like what is he doing with his first moves? Like okay, so he puts in the white green. What? There's nothing to match it with. And then okay, so he puts in this. Is he matching up the blue and the blue? But like matching up the blue and the blue, there's only these 2 blues. Why would you put in that blue like that? Oh, okay, I see. Okay, so that's actually okay. So I see this. He's doing white green. Okay, I see what's going on here now. It's still weird, but I see. What? You can't do that. This is really bad, actually. So I don't know actually what's going on here. There's like some weird inefficiencies here because. So I think he's starting with white green, and then the first thing he does. So he has this white green piece right. Maybe he didn't see this, and then he just starting. If he didn't. So this is a starting point, and there's no reason if you're gonna do white only. There is no reason to do like red white is boom 1 right here 1 2 3 4 red white's way better. Red white's the best. Obviously, it's not even close. Say you do want to do white green, you wouldn't insert this piece. He inserted this piece backwards. So even if you say you don't see this piece right here, and that means you haven't seen anything. The first piece you see is this white green piece. Like this is definitely just like this is there's no maybe it's something he does to like reduce pauses or something, but like this is bad. Like you should not. A huge crux of like any edge pairing is that you want to select the edge with the most oriented pieces already in the E layer because that's you don't have to insert them. You can just line them up real quick, and so it's always going to be better to just do a quick check to see what I got here. Like maybe you red white maybe a little hard to find. Like let's just do a quick check. What do we got here? Okay, and like also it's your first edge, and even if you're restricting yourself only to white edges, like the red white's right here, and also like I think we were right here, like you saw the red white right there, and even you saw the red white right here, like he did this move and he saw red white. You should go for red white if you're gonna do only white. So like, and then he like basically inserts green, inserts it backwards, and then inserts this other green, flips it, and then now it looks like he's switching to white red. So he like didn't see. So this is interesting. So this is something this isn't necessarily bad. This is something that I've thought about for a while actually. Like, how much help is it to just like, I don't see anything immediately. All right, screw it. Bail out on this edge and just store it somewhere else and come back to it when I do find the piece. There's obviously a lot of mental like capacity and you need to remember what edges you've done and you haven't done and stuff. I've kind of been experimenting with this as well, and I think it's not a bad idea, or it's definitely undervalued. I don't think it's the greatest because obviously it's a lot to keep track of, makes things more complicated, and usually you can just find the edge piece. But like, if you see something else, I think it's really important just not to have any pauses at all. And so I think using this a little bit when you can't find something else is definitely overall can be a positive, especially if you as you get better at tracking it. And Max is obviously very good at tracking this stuff. Is like it's very fluid. Him picking these edges, like storing them, storing 3 out of 4 piece, storing them, picking it back later. I think is a great idea, especially because Max seems really good at it. I definitely don't think it's bad at all. I think it's solid. It's pretty unexplored, and it's actually this is nice to see that like Max is doing unexplored stuff. Like before, like Max was definitely just like. He was like behind in kind of tech of like what he was doing like on terms of moves. He was just like kind of a year or two behind what everyone else was doing and just turning really fast and getting away with it. Now he seems like on the cutting edge of what's going on, which is definitely what you want to be doing when you're the top keeper. You need to be able to find a way to push it, like do better, like find a way to push through and like figure out how like what works, what doesn't work. You got to experiment. Like I really like that he's doing this type of stuff. So the only like actual mistake I'm saying that doing those first green, like he obviously is going for the first green white, extremely inefficient start to green white. Red or white was way better, even if you didn't see it. Like there's a bunch of different options. Extremely inefficient start, that's really bad. But like I really like the fact that he's pushing the boundaries, like trying new stuff out. This is pretty cool. So yeah, like I don't see any problem with being like, all right, I don't know where the next green white is. Let's just like dump it, and dumps the green white, puts in the red white at the same time. That's good. Great stuff. Matches up that red white. Boom. So this is one of those instances where it's not good. Like I understand like you want some fluidity. He's got this 3x1 on the red white, but like it's an instance where it can be a detractor because whoop, you're a U wide away from finishing this edge. One move. And all of a sudden, instead, you store the red white on the U face, come back to it later, when in reality, you were just one move away from finishing that edge. Like, this is a great example of, like, the pros and cons. Like, I think on the green white, storing it was totally fine. The green white's on the D face, you had to do a rotation, you had to do all this garbage stuff. Like, this is where it's not good. And so, like, it's hard to say, because, like, you have to make a split-second decision on what you're gonna do, and you have to like you can't go halfway. You have to decide. Like this is where the skill, the very high level skill of like being good at this comes in, and like this obviously takes a ton of practice to get good at. Deciding when like I don't see it immediately. Is it worth maybe I saw it earlier. This one I think is you definitely should have seen this piece. Like if you're tracking well, like this piece is right there. It's like right there, and it might always be worth it to like. Before you throw it on top, should you do a quick check? How long does that take? Is it worth it? A lot of these are questions that I'm just like kind of posing. I don't really know the answers to these things. Like before, like my previous solve analysis of Max or in most of mine, it's like I know the answers. Like I've been doing this for so many years. Like he's doing things that are like old school tricks that like the answers were already known. Well, this stuff is so new that I don't know the answers, and it's good to see someone kind of be pushing what's going on. Well, I just quickly like talk about this edge storing thing and doing partial edges and like a very quick, very obvious good example and then a very obvious bad example, just to kind of show you like how like new technology is just it's like everything that you do to like it's just you learn new ways, like you just turn all the bad cases into good cases. And the real skill with being really good is A, learning all of these different options you can use, and then B, being able to select what option you should do every time. The first, like the green white, good. Like you have these two different options. You can store it or you can finish it. The green white, it was good. It's good to have them in your repertoire. You need to first have them both in your repertoire, but then you also need to be a huge skill is selecting them quickly. And the green white was a good option to store it, and the red white was a bad option to store it. Also, if you have like this is like a recognition nightmare because it looks like it's very, especially red and orange. Like it's a tricky. It looks like the bar is already solved, so that's just something to watch out for. And then it looks like he's going for. Yeah, so then he must have like found it and been like, oh shoot, he's setting up. So he's setting up. Oh wait 1 second. Let's go. Where is he at? Yeah. Okay. So. Right. Boom. Boom. And then he sets up. Yep. Now he's setting up. White orange. And then then he sets a white orange, and during the white orange setup, he finds the last white red. Very solid stuff. This is like if in this case like this is how like it's a good example of how it's so easy to fluidly pick the edges back up that are partially done and just dump them straight back into a smooth edge pairing. This is a good example of how to like be fluid on that. I'm not surprised that he's fluid on it. I mean, it's something that Max seems to have been doing for a long time. Seems to be very good at it. Given that you're in the state he had, this is a very good example of being fast at it. It's just that he shouldn't have been in this state because the red white was already so good. Is kind of what I'm saying. All right, finished red white. This is also like a super long solve analysis now. I guess it makes sense. I haven't done one of these in ages. And also, this is the first time I've ever done a solve analysis where there's truly new technology that I haven't seen before. Boom, boom, boom. It's pretty standard stuff there. He's going to go white-green now, which is sitting right there. I wonder, he should know that... oh, he had it right there. That's nice. See, another example of like the white-green, because of the moves he made along the way, made it way easier. Now white-blue. Okay, this is pretty obvious. A little misturn there. Rare from Max. Max is not... You can notice in this solve, that's like a second misturn. Very good at this speed. Extremely good. Most people make a lot more, I'd say. Max's turning is amazing, except for the fact he doesn't double flick. I was going white-green, yellow-green. Yeah, nice, nice, nice. Obvious. Ooh, oh, yeah. Oh, yes. This is good. Right here. This is like... It's not super advanced, but like... more novice keeper. All right, you're like, oh, I'm on yellow green. Let's get yellow green. Boom. 3 pieces right here. Oh, yellow green right here. Just insert this right away. But let's be aware, we can make 2 edges at the same time. This is when also that skill of like doing partial edges is even more helpful because now you can like are more accustomed to this. Oh, we got this yellow blue. We got this yellow blue here. Let's just do this quick slice. Let's definitely do that slice. Let's just store that for later. Absolutely great stuff right there. And then if you know where the yellow blue is, just go straight into it. And it looks like, oh, he already knew it too. That's like, this is like really elite stuff right here. So like, it wasn't too crazy. Like, there's nothing too crazy about the, the store right here, like doing this yellow blue over here. That's not super advanced. Like anyone good is going to do that. But with the crazy good part is he knows already where that piece is. He knows the yellow blues in the back. And so he takes this green out, inserts the yellow blue, boom. I think there's very few people in the world who have done this. Like, he did this yellow blue, yellow green edge, these 2 edges in combination, like, almost, like, optimally, like, really, really good there. And I think there's very few people in the world who do it that way on the fly at this speed. There's no one who do it. There's no one who would do it on the fly at this speed in that way. There's very few people who would even do it that way, like, at all. Yellow, red, blue, orange. Yellow, red, yep. Yellow, red. This is pretty standard. This flip, double slice. And then, yep. I'd probably just go blue, orange, blue, orange. Oh, what? Whoa. Was that on purpose? That could not have been on purpose. No way. That'd be sick. So let me reset the orientation again. I mean, this is the world record solve. If you skipped an edge, that's not like... It's like pretty lucky, but like it's not like some insane luck thing that we got going on. Okay, so he finishes off yellow blue, and there's no way he's like okay, so now we finish off yellow blue. We insert this. And we're on yellow red. Where's blue orange? Oh, okay. So this is definitely just luck. There's no way. I mean, I'll give a lot of credit to Max here, but like this type of stuff just happens where you just basically just got gifted a free edge. Because there's no downside also to just like doing this edge first if you saw it. And I don't like. There's no advantage to like doing red yellow first. If you just saw it, you just do it quickly. Like it doesn't break up red yellow. So I'd be very surprised if you like planned it out. That would almost be impossible. So yeah, he probably saw it there. Oh wait, and then yeah, and then boom, and then luckily like he just kind of got lucky. Like it just happened to be completely solved. And then this is like a pretty easy case. Boom, done, and also you're gonna have red, green like sitting right there, which is nice. Boom. Or are you done with the last 4 now? Wait, what was that? Wait. Oops. Oh yeah, it was a nothing move, just a miss move. Ooh, couple miss moves from Max, pretty rare. All right, so he skipped solve 8. He skipped edge 8, which is pretty lucky, but you know, it's a world record solve. You're expecting to get some luck. This right here is a big moment because he gets 4-second last 4, which is really, really, really fast. So actually, like, Go another tangent about last four edges here. Last four edges are a big deal of how lucky you're, like, determine a lot of your 6x6 luck solve. Because, like, it's kind of weird in a way where your centers and edges, there's not too much luck to be, like, you get lucky cases and it's not that much worse than the lucky cases and the non-lucky cases are still really similar in how long they're going to take to solve. Edges always have stuff fall into place. Like, skipping an edge, yeah, that's a big difference, but, like, that's really rare. The standard deviation of your centers and edges is very low. Your standard deviation of your last four edges is very high. It, like, can literally make or break, like, your, like, I would bet most people's personal bests on 6x6 had a ridiculously fast last four edges. Like, say you just have all your middles paired and you have five last four edges. Huge, easy case. If one of your, couple of your edges are just slice up slice, huge, easy cases. Like, you can steal off last four edges in, like, 3 seconds on the easiest cases, and it could take you, like, 11 on the hard cases. Like, for such a, like, that standard, the standard deviation in last four edges is, like, the entire solve standard deviation. It's crazy how much the luck on last four can change your solve, and so it's, like, almost assumed that when you get a PB, I'd say, or, like, a time that's amazing for you, you just had you had a great solve, and then you got really good last four edges, and then you clutched it out without getting too many parries or something. So for a solve like this, we're going to expect easy last four edges. Let's see, what does he do here? Wait, let me make sure I got the rotation right. I'm curious what he does here, because there's a lot, like, he didn't do last four very well before, and, like, unfortunately, I would need to see a lot of last four edges to really see how, like, good they are, but we'll see kind of, like, I'll just see kind of what method is he using to solve last four. I would need to see a lot of them, but, yeah, I would need to see a lot of them, just kind of see how he does it regularly, because there's a lot. Last four edges is a great case, a great example of you need to have a bunch of different tools in your repertoires for solving the different variations in the best way possible. And then you also, because, like, it's not that hard. Like, you can do slice up slice, you can pull out cycles, you can do 3 middles first, you can do 2 middles first. I have a bunch of videos on this about how to do this, and definitely thought recently about kind of the real huge skill is determining instantly which way of solving your last. There's, like, 4 big ways to solve them. Like, which way is the best, and you got to determine that instantly, and that's, like, the huge skill, and it's extremely hard because the 2 of them are in the back and you can't see it. So unfortunately, we're just looking at one solve, so it's not going to tell us the most in the world, but I'm curious what we're going to get here. So let's look at this case here. Oh, this is some easy stuff right here. As we can see right here, this right here, M, U2, M prime, full edge solved, and that's like half a second. So great start. I'd probably just immediately do it, because why not? Maxima has seen something else though. What does he go for? He goes for yellow, orange. Oops. Let's see how he does it. Please, this is like, so this is actually a great example of when you would cycle. This is an obvious cycle case, because well, really, you should do actually the best way. The best way I can see it for sure. Like, this is also, like, I can now see all 4 edges, and it's like that's half the battle, and I've had a few seconds to think about it. So I would not expect anyone to get this right 100% of the time in their solves. Like, getting the last 4 edge selection, what method you're going to do to solve it right 100% of the time instantly is essentially impossible. Like, that would make you beyond max level currently elite. But you would do a MU2 M2 to solve this, and then you can see here that you have this bar won't be affected, and you can go straight into, like, a cycle here. Like, this is the middles are on a 3 cycle, and then you'd solve the middles. You'd solve all 3. You'd solve the first edge. You'd solve all the middles with a cycle, and then also your yellow and orange would have a 3 of them would be solved, and then you'd solve the last yellow and orange with a cycle, and then you'd have a last 2 edge case. I wouldn't expect anyone to do that. Actually, me personally, I would do it in this case, not by some, like, miracle skill that I'm, like, just the way the last 4 are, like, naturally set up. I would have seen this, done the MU2 M prime, wouldn't have even known about the orange and yellow in the back, would have seen that and been like, oh, that's pretty lucky, I got a great case. So, like, once again, like, it's, like, so hard to decide what's gonna happen. But yeah, so what Max is doing probably is definitely not bad either. What does he do here? What? I don't hate it, but it's weird. I don't hate it, but it's weird. I definitely don't hate it. Alright, an easy last three. Ah! Ah! Oh, wait, never mind. Oh, I recognized that wrong. Okay, never mind. I thought he put it in backwards. I was gonna be like, so scarred. No, no, no. Well, easy last three, though, but like, I definitely don't hate it, but it's kind of weird, like, from. So here's this weird cycle setup. What's this cycle setup? He cycles. So I would recommend, in this case, so you know you're going to cycle these two. If you're going to start off with a cycle, you're just going to do cycles for the whole thing. It's very unlikely you're not. Like, you're going to rotate back and then do another cycle. Like, especially because if you saw this right here, you know you can do cycles for the whole thing. Because like the downside of doing cycles when you pair up the middles first is that you're stuck with just a middle, like a 2x1 in the middle, and that's bad. That's when you didn't want to do cycles for the middles. This is not going to happen because you know you're going to have two 2x1s already, so you're going to get, when you fix all the middles, you're going to have two 3x1s, and so you're going to be in a great spot. But, so I would just recommend to just go straight into pull, like you can do, I have a video about this similarly, like, you just go, boom. If like your last four are here, boom, 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 boom. You got all of them in like right and cycle position. But not bad though. Definitely not bad. This part's where it kind of throws me weirdly. Like right here, I would have set this up to where like, you know, you have the orange and yellow, and then you'd cycle the orange and yellow, and then you'd do a slice cycle, because then, or you wouldn't have to slice cycle it, but you get two 3x1s essentially. But Max is gonna do. He's gonna do. What does he do? Okay. Oh, I see. He's gonna cycle. Yeah, I don't like it actually. It's not bad, but he basically cycles. I would recommend not cycling your wings until your cycle, unless you really have a plan. I wouldn't cycle your wings until you're done with your centers, like your middle piece, your middle twos. So it's like it's not bad. It's just like he does a cycle to match up. Wait, whoops, what is going on here? Oops, well, let me reset this thing again. Yeah, okay, so he does a cycle essentially he cycles this orange piece into here, which is okay, but like it's just gonna get confusing. It's gonna get confusing, and if you have a plan and a reason for it, if you ever have a plan and a reason for it, you can always do it. But there's no advantage to doing that over just cycling. If you just do one middle cycle, you're left with 5x5 last 4 edges, and then you're in a great spot. So I definitely would recommend that first. That actually is indicative of kind of a bigger problem of preferring to wing cycle when there's no reason to. Like I said, if there's a reason to, go for it. There's always exceptions to the rule, but your default should be to definitely do middle cycles, not wing cycles. So I'd say it's a small mistake, but. And then yeah, does a center cycle. Okay, this is obviously correct. The rest of this is good. And then so you did. This is pretty nice. This is a nice last four. Like I said, it's pretty lucky. I'm not surprised that he got lucky. It's like the best solve ever. Yeah. So basically, fixes it, sets up his cycle, and then let's count the cycles. 1. Really finger friendly. And then he pulls that out. Then he does 2. And then he gets this great. So that was the thing is he had 2 cycles for his first. He had 2 cycles for his first edge, and then the only thing he's done to set up his next 3 is he's made the middles. He's made all the middles match up. So he basically had 2 cycles, and he got 1 edge and 5x5 last 3 edges, which is okay. But I definitely think he could have been a better spot. He did happen to get a massively great last 3 edge case because 1 cycle for this, just last when you get 5x5 last 3 edges and you get it in 1 cycle, that's why this case is really lucky. I mean, we could see it was kind of lucky from the start, but yeah, that's why it only took him 4 seconds to do this. And then we have the absolute god tier 3x3 stage because Max is like significantly. I remember when like Max was coming up and I'd watch him. Like it's crazy because Max is significantly faster than Felix at 3x3 stage. Even when they were like in similar speeds of 3x3, Max was so much faster just because he turned so fluidly. He could do L moves so well. Like he literally averaged he gets a 10-second 3x3 stage with PLO parity, no inspection on this. Like that's so good. Like I mean, there's not much to say. on this part. Like I'm not even qualified. I'm not qualified to judge the 3x3 stage, anyways. Like it's really just this is all an execution. Like we're not going to see much here from the reconstruction. I'm sure is just something normal. Max isn't known for a lot of super fancy stuff on 3x3. Yeah, it looks pretty standard. And also, like in a 3x3 stage, if you just get normal cases, there's nothing. Sometimes there's nothing fancy to even be done. You just do your normal cases. It's very easy. But like you can watch the. What did he do that for? Oh, he wanted the bar case. Or he wanted the. That's kind of weird. I would just take the. I guess he's gonna get an awkward case, so he does that. Yeah, okay. He probably just knows what he's doing here. And then like this is the example that like I will use to show why Max is so crazy good at 3x3 stage. Like look at this. He gets an eye case. It would just fine on 3x3, but this is a 6x6. It's not that easy to do wide moves. Like a lot of people will flood this or turn it or lock up a lot. Max never messes these up. Ever. Like I've never seen him do it. It's crazy. Like he does. He gets to OLL at. He gets to OLL at 55, has an eye case and PLL parity, and finishes in 59. Look at that. That's insane. Look at this. Alright. Flawless execution on the eye case. And then what PLL does he get again? Let's see. Then he gets... Okay, please do this correctly. I'm sure he does. He knows all these, right? Yeah. Okay, good. J. Oh, you better do this one right. This is a pretty standard case. You J into purity, yeah. But like, oh God, it's so fast. The execution is like, it just flaws. Like 56. He starts his J perm at 56 with PLL parity, and he gets a 59. Without double flicking. Like, I honestly don't think there's too many cubers in the world who can pull off that execution. Like, that's so fast. Like, yeah. But yeah, I guess that's ends the longest solve. Oh my God, this video is probably like over an hour long. Well, easily the longest solve analysis that are done. Amazing solve. I think it's really, like, summarized, like, I think it's really obvious that Max has gotten a lot better. Like, so much better. So, where I think the only major mistakes were last two bars of his centers were really poor, and then he had a weird, terrible start. His start of his edges was terrible. He should not have done white green. And other than that, those were the only major mistakes. There was definitely, I think, a couple center things, maybe minor stuff in centers. The edges, we talked about the edges, how like saving edges for later has its pros and cons. And then last four, I didn't love, but I didn't think it was a major mistake. The other thing in last four was that going for wings first on your cycles is indicative of a problem. You definitely want to do middles first unless there's a reason. But yeah, overall, really clean solve. Like, this is a solve. I mean, you're also executing at such a high level. It's so fast, and you have to make these decisions instantly that it cannot be understated how hard that is to do and how crazy it is that he's doing all this advanced stuff at this speed. Like, and I think what I'm most impressed by and most happy is that, like, 3 years ago, we're sitting here and, like, I'm like, oh my God, he's not doing this, and this. All these things have been known for years and years. Like, me and Felix have been doing these things since, like, 2013, and Max isn't doing them. Like, this is a big, like, there's a sign of, like, he's got a lot of time to drop. There's either problems or he's going to be really fast, and it's clear that he's ironed out everything. Even the major mistakes were really more indicative of he probably doesn't do those every time. He probably, like, is, like, the edge, the first edge is probably really bad for him. I'm sure that's abnormal. Like, really fine-tuning this type of stuff. Like, it's really good to see. I wouldn't say there's any, like, he's not, like, breaking barriers on centers of, like, doing new and improved stuff that, like, people haven't done before, but he's cleaned up all of it. He's doing advanced center building. It's all really solid. There's definitely more stuff to learn in the last two centers stuff, but, like, overall really nice. It's great to see on edges that he's been experimenting, obviously. I think that's the biggest thing. Max's edges are the best in the world, and it's not close at all. And it's great to see that he is so, like, the white first, I guess it's working from. Great to experiment that. I might try kind of like focusing on doing. I might look into that for myself, kind of see how that is like working out. Doing that partial edges, storing edges, like I think it's really interesting, and like I talked about like I was asking these questions as hypotheticals because I actually don't know the answer. No one does right now. He's actually, instead of having the fastest times but still being lagging a lot in technology of what he's doing, he's now finally on the cutting edge of like doing stuff that people haven't done, that you haven't heard of, experimenting stuff, which is really what you need to do if you're going to push an event to new limits and not just rely on like blitzing out TPS. So I'm really happy with that. And it's also clear that like I don't think 2 years ago he'd ever do a cycle like that on last 4 edges for 6x6. So like even though I was nitpicking like the cycle selection, just the fact that now he's obviously like doing cycles is like such a big deal. But yeah, that's about it. Also, if you want to be good now, you just have to have a godlike 3x3 stage and like do your M slice parodies. Unfortunately, it was much nicer analysis than last time. You know, if people were hoping for some bashing, I call it like it is. And the old record was pretty trash. The old record execution was trash, and this one is great. Overall, I'd give it like I like the old one. I'd probably get like in terms of like the move selection. The old one I'd probably get like a 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10 for someone that good. This one I'd probably say like 8, 9 out of 10. There's always better to be. There's always better to do. You can always do better, but this is like we're getting pretty close to how fast you can be and stuff. I think it's pretty crazy. So yeah, that's I think that's gonna about do it. I'm not sure what I'm doing at the channel. I just made this video. My rule is no guarantees on any commitments to cubing, but I'll probably make more videos in the future at some point.